I don't know if you guys have thought of your New Year's resolution yet, but I've got a couple for you that I think you might like. Welcome to the other half, where we know that attraction is not just about your looks. You also have to take care of the inner half. And what I'm talking about today, these resolutions, are boundaries. I'm going to give you a couple of boundaries that I finally decided to start implementing in my own dating life. That at first, I didn't think they were that big of a deal. You might be violating these boundaries all the time. You might not think they were that big of a deal either. But you know what? You apply them to your dating life, it makes a world of difference. Trust me, I know. Hello friends, my name is Maria, and for almost 20 years I struggled in my relationships, and I did my best to navigate the dating world without a very healthy mindset. And I always lost out in the end. That is until the day I sat down at my kitchen table, painted my nails, and realized that nothing I was doing was working, and I decided to do everything differently. Starting that very day, my whole dating world changed for me, for the better. I'd like to share with you a couple of the boundaries I put in place for myself. So if you struggle with feeling like you're getting the short end of the stick in your dating life, then grab a bottle of nail polish, let me know in the comments what color you are showing your self-love with today, and let's talk. The first New Year's boundary suggestion that I have for you is do not keep your weekends open for maybe dates. Don't keep your weekends open when the guy you're seeing has not promised that he's going to see you that weekend. When a guy tells you he might be able to see you this weekend, here's the worst thing you can do. You keep the weekend open, and then all week long, you've got this anxiety built up. Are we going to see each other? Are we not going to see each other? And then you start thinking of plans for if you guys do see each other. What outfit are you going to wear? You're building up something that doesn't exist. I used to do stuff like this all the time. And then once I finally let him decide whether or not he felt like seeing me that weekend, when the answer was no, I would blow up on him. Because in my mind, I had already built this stuff up in my head. I'd already picked out the outfit and the restaurant. I wasn't looking at things rationally. So when he turned around and was able to say, "Why are you so upset? It's not like we actually had plans this weekend," he was right. I had completely done it to myself. Now, I could have avoided this situation completely by knowing that, first of all, I shouldn't be asking a guy when I get to see him again, or if he wants to see me over the weekend, and then letting him decide what my social life is going to be. I also could have avoided this by realizing that sometimes people, they have their own life, and they do have other plans, and they have other things that they need to get done. But it doesn't mean I have to wait around for them. I also could have avoided this by implementing a boundary that maybe means no. A no from me to waiting around for someone who isn't sure if they want to spend the weekend with me. When a guy tells me that he might be able to see me over the weekend, you bet your butt I'm going to turn around and say, "Hey, you want to catch a movie?" Except I'm going to say it to my sister. Or I'm going to say it to one of my friends. Maybe they're not spending the weekend with you because they're not sure about you. Maybe they don't know if they can spend the weekend with you because they might have to go somewhere and help somebody move. It doesn't matter, because either way, when you turn around and you're like, "Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. It sounds like, things are hectic. You're not sure about your schedule. We'll make plans another time." And then you actually go out and make other plans with other people. It lets him know that you're not the type of girl that's going to sit alone at her house pining after him, or waiting to see if he chooses her. Pick-me girls never get picked. Now this brings us into our second New Year's boundary. It's make sure your actions match your words. So if you go ahead and tell this guy on Monday that can't decide whether or not he wants to see you on the weekend, "Hey, no problem, some other time, I'll make other plans." You have to actually make other plans. You cannot text him on Friday asking him if his schedule is cleared up because you'd sure love to see him. That's a one-way ticket to Needy Town. Now you're clingy. Now you have nothing better to do than revolve your social life around him. And maybe that's not true, but sometimes our anxious tendencies cause us to misrepresent ourselves, especially when we really like somebody. Think about it this way. In the world of dating advice, you will hear over and over and over again that when you first start dating somebody, you want to make sure that their actions match their words. So why wouldn't the same thing apply to you? When you start dating somebody and their actions don't match their words, everyone on the planet will tell you that's a huge red flag. But it's a red flag in you too. If you tell a guy that it's no problem and you're going to make other plans, and then you start texting him throughout the week like, hey, have you figured out whether or not your schedule's free yet? You might, without even realizing it, be wrapping yourself in a big red flag that tells this guy that he is going to be your only source of entertainment. And that definitely can scare people away who don't know you very well, who've just started seeing you. It also tells people that they can completely jerk you around, because they'll tell you they're not sure if they even want to see you. You'll say it's no problem, but then you make it pretty clear that it's a huge problem. They know that they've got you. They know that you like them. There's not really a mystery there anymore. You're in their back pocket, and they're going to see you or not see you. And when they decide to finally see you, you will be there. This is a huge problem when it comes to dating and relationships. It often leads to situationships, and I will tell you, one of the worst year-long situationships I ever got myself tangled into all started because my words did not match my actions. I met a guy that I was interested in out in public, and when I got home, I found him on social media and friended him. And this, of course, led to me sliding into his DMs, trying to make funny, flirty chit-chat, and the conversation ended with me telling him, well, hey, it was really cool talking to you. Why don't you hit me up sometime? Could be fun to reconnect somewhere. Sounds breezy, but no. My insecurity wouldn't show him that I was going to let my actions match my words and allow him the time to hit me up and reconnect with me if he wanted to. No. My anxiety got the better of me, and when I didn't hear from him after a few days or maybe about a week, I slid into his DMs again. Hey, I'm still here, which eventually led to me asking him out on a date. And yeah, he said yes, because I think sometimes it's hard for guys to turn dates down, but he never really liked me that much, and I'm sure he could tell from my energy, even though my words were breezy. It doesn't matter. We all have different nervous systems. We can feel other people's nervous systems. I was wrapping myself in a big red flag that said I can't control myself. My actions don't match my words. He may have gotten the vibe that I was way too much to emotionally maintain in a relationship, and at that time, he was right. This situationship wasted an entire year of my life, and I could have stayed out of it completely by letting my actions match my words. Side note, if you struggle with situationships, I do have a video called Rise Above the Situationship Mindset. I'll go ahead and link that down below. Keep you out of nasty situationships in the first place. And if you enjoy the subject of navigating the dating world with a healthier, happier mindset, then please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Maybe share this video with a girlfriend of yours who's also struggling. Goodness knows, I wish I had known this stuff years ago. Strategy number 3 is also going to help keep you from wasting your time with people who are not really genuinely interested in you. If you go out on a first date with a guy, wait and let him invite you on the second date. The main reason this is an important boundary, if you struggle, like I did, with anxiety, dealing with rejection, abandonment issues, maybe trauma from past relationships, you will never feel 100% securely confident in a relationship unless you sit back, give it a little space, a little oxygen, and allow the other person to show you that they want to be a part of your life. And I know sometimes it's confusing because you're like, well, I keep asking them out and they keep saying yes. Honestly, what I've found, that doesn't really matter. People don't really like sitting home alone at the weekends. I mean, if the alternative is going out with someone that they at least like okay and having an okay time, they probably choose that. There are definitely people in my life who were using me to go out because it was more fun than sitting at home alone. But it didn't mean that they liked me. It didn't mean that they valued me. It didn't even mean that they necessarily respected me. And it did not mean that they saw me as a serious contender for a long-term loving relationship. Just because guys kept saying yes to my invitations did not mean that the moment they found a girl they liked better, I was going to get the big no. Not to mention the fact that I was part of that situation too. I knew that these guys, I was the one who was asking them out. I was the one initiating everything. So in the back of my mind, I never felt secure in the relationship, if it was a relationship at all. But we can find relationships, and we find them by not keeping our weekends open for maybe dates. We make sure that our actions match our words, and we allow the other person to show us that they do really like us by letting them ask us out on a second date. If you implement these 3 boundaries into your dating life in the new year, I am positive that they will turn your year-long waste of time situationship into nothing but a short story by OPI. A short story where you are the hero who saves yourself from relationships with people who are not genuinely invested in you. My name is Maria Adrianna. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting The Other Half.